Right, okay, fine. Now then, one of the emerging stories today, in fact it hit us all like a bullet out of the blue. No, that's not I didn't mean a bullet, I meant a bolt. A bolt out of the blue this morning when we discovered that despite the efforts going back 2 or 3 years, West Ham United, who thought they'd acquired as their own the Olympic Stadium in East London as their new ground, new location to move to. No, it's not going to happen now. It's not going to happen unless they go into another bidding process to actually become the tenants of a stadium that has to be rented. It's all down to international sporting politics. It's all about whether or not legal challenges to West Ham's occupation of the ground would take so long that actually after the Olympic Games the ground won't even be available for use because it'll be tied up in legal debate. Anyway, 2 points of view on this. West Ham fans, some of West Ham fans wanted the ground, and one group of fans who definitely didn't were Leyton Orient fans because they thought they would suck away all their support. Let's go up to the Skype wall now. I want to talk first of all to Sean Whetstone, West Ham fan. Sean, good evening to the show.
Good evening.
Hello, mate. Are you either A, very disappointed that the dreams of your new stadium have now just evaporated in smoke, or are you quite relieved you're staying where you are for the time being?
No, I'm in the pro camp, and I think we'll still be getting the stadium. This is the way forward. You know, it was going to go on for years, maybe in European court. So this allows us to move forward.
In what way does it allow you to move forward? Because you're going to leave a ground that you've had all your history, and you're going to become tenants in somebody else's ground with no guarantee whatsoever that the security of tenure will go on forever.
Well, we were going to be tenants anyway. We weren't going to own the whole ground anyway. We were going to get a 125-year lease, and we were going to rent it for £5 million a year. So, all right, we were going to be part owners of the stadium.
Yeah.
But there's no other tenable tenant for it, so I see that West Ham's future's there.
Okay, well we'll come back in a minute because you were going to get £40 million of taxpayers' money. Just before we go to our other fan there, Matt, Leyton Orient fan. Neil, an update please on a very interesting situation here.
Scotland have just scored a penalty, so it is 3-1. Scotland have got a consolation goal with 65 minutes played.
65 minutes after in the game, so they've got what?
25 minutes left.
Yeah, okay, let's get up to the Skype wall. Andy, perhaps even that might bring a little bit of cheer to you.
We're going to win 4-3.
Yeah, we're going to win 4-3. That's what I like, the eternal optimist. You said that with a lot of passion. Yeah. No, seriously, at least you got something back. It's not everybody scores a goal against Spain.
Exactly, and it was a deserved penalty anyway. We could have had one earlier on in the game when Gary Caldwell was shoved in the back by Carlos Puyol.
Yeah. But
the referee waved play on. Either way, Spain are deserved winners of this game, even though there's about 20 odd minutes left.
Yeah.
Scotland could get another goal, but I can't see them actually getting anything for the game now. But a goal's better than nothing at all.
It certainly is. Listen, mate, thanks very much indeed. We'll catch up with you a bit later on. There's still plenty of time to go. Let's get back to the Skype wall and talk to Matt, who's our Leyton Orient fan. Now, Matt, earlier on today, your chairman, Barry, who's in Monaco, because we tried to track him down earlier on, said this is the greatest day in the history of Leyton Orient. Would you agree?
Barry certainly likes the soundbite, doesn't he? I'm not sure if it's the greatest day in our history. I prefer to think the greatest day in our history was probably centred around a football match. But it's a very important day for Orient in many ways. To be quite honest, the whole stadium discussions have been an absolute farce as far as we're concerned, and we're really, really concerned about our future and how it affects it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, you say that, but I think what Barry meant was, if you had to compete against West Ham for local fans of future generations on your own patch, you wouldn't have had any fans. I mean, we can see the sense in that, can't we?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think, it's not about our resistance to sport. I think most Orient fans, if you asked them, would rather have their own fingernails extracted than move over to support West Ham. It's about the future generations, and part of West Ham's bid was about reaching out to the local community around the ground, offering discounted tickets to school children. It was really worrying for us.
Mm-hmm.
And Matt, do you really see it as that big a thing that now, obviously with it being sort of overturned at this stage, that it could be, that imperative to the future of Orient as a football club?
It can be, but I think it's definitely not over, and I think, as Sean said, it's pretty likely that West Ham is still going to end up there, so I still think it's really worrying times for Orient.
It could be. Sean, I see you shaking your head there a bit. What were you disagreeing with there?
Well, I just think this was all about money. Barry Hearn wanted the money. I think it's disrespectful.
No, he wants to save his club. He wants to try and save his club.
No, it's disrespectful to Orient fans to say that Orient fans would switch to West Ham just because they had a bigger or better stadium. It's disrespectful. Football's in the blood. You don't just go, oh, there's a nice stadium.
What about the next generations? What about the next generations? The kids who have grown up in that area, they see this magnificent new stadium.
No, it runs in bloodlines. You don't think people wake up and want to support West Ham. It runs through bloodlines. If you want to be a glory hunter, go and support Chelsea or Man United.
Yeah.
You don't go and support West Ham. It has to be in your blood. And I think Leyton Orient fans are the same. It has to be in your blood.
Well,
so I don't buy it. It's about money.
Kids these days, when they're about 4 or 5, they see a fantastic game on the telly, and all of a sudden they support that team. That's happened forever. But Sean, I've got to go on here and say,
in West Ham, talking about a football stadium, and the last time West Ham played attractive football was a long time ago. Winning the Olympic Stadium doesn't mean we're going to play attractive football.
Yeah, listen, do you really want to go there? Because I want to show you a graphic now we've got of the stadium. That's an aerial view of the Olympic Stadium, right? And let me show our viewers this. This is a picture in the London Evening Standard tonight. It's taken from the sidelines of the outer perimeter of the playing area. But I mean, it's a good 50 or 60 yards back from the centre spot. You're going to need binoculars when you eventually get there, Sean, even if you're sitting in the front row, to be able to get a view there. Never mind the argument about whether you've got it or not. I just don't think it's a very nice football stadium.
Absolutely, and that's what fans are worried about. I'm on the West Ham Sports Advisory Board. We're on the Olympic Committee. We will be going to see it for ourselves. We're going to have a look at what the views are. Anyone can take a picture. I'm sure the Evening Standard have to make it look awful. Any ground can look awful.
Yeah.
But we're still looking at retractable seating.
Yes.
We're going to have a look how it's going to be. It's too early to say, and this is just media hype, typical media hype, West Ham bashing.
West Ham bashing.
But the interesting thing,
especially the mirror.
For both of you, both Orient and West Ham, the interesting thing for me is that the model for this, in a way, is what happened in Manchester, post-Commonwealth Games with what's now the Etihad Stadium, and obviously they had more free rein to kind of get rid of anything to do with the athletics, to turn it into a football stadium. And today's ruling means that will never happen, or still might happen. I can't quite get my head around that.
Will happen.
Yeah, but it won't happen. One of the reasons this has happened now is it has to be retained for athletics in the 2017 World Games. So another 6 years.
It can be multi-use. We're going to talk about it. Look, we've got to go through the whole re-tender process. I'm sure West Ham will get the best terms for their fans.
Yeah.
As Dave Gold said on his Twitter, it's still owned. The fans own West Ham club. He just owns the debts, and I agree with that. He will listen to what the fans say.
He's probably right. But Matt, anyway, celebrations around Orient and Leyton Orient, because according to your chairman, again, you have survived what could have potentially crushed the club after all the years of its history, and you're not moving to a stadium. You're staying where you are.
He's right. For the moment, we're happy, but as Sean says, I definitely don't think this is over, and I think we still need to put a lot of work in to preserve the future of our club.
Yeah, I mean, what's Leyton Orient's ground like? Are you happy there? You'd never have wanted to move anywhere else, would you? I don't understand why the West Ham fans are so keen to get out of, Upton Park, really.
I'm really happy. I think it's a great ground, and games like our game against Arsenal last season in the FA Cup was an absolutely fantastic atmosphere.
Yeah.
I really want to stay there.
Yeah.
I mean, Sean, just over to you. I've played at the Bowling Green. I went to the playoff game as well against Ipswich, and the atmosphere is fantastic.
Yeah.
Are you not scared about losing that? 'Cause that's special for West Ham fans, surely.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I sit in the Treadbrook in Lower, right next to the away fans. The atmosphere is great, we're on top of the pitch. Of course we're all worried about that, but we're not stuck in the past, and we need to move on. And, we can't go on with a glorious 66 forever. And Olympic Stadium is our next legacy.
Okay, do you still have full confidence in the board at West Ham, Sean?
100%. I think David Gold and David Sullivan have done a really, really good job and put their hands in their pockets.
Okay, including letting the manager go through the whole of last season.
Well, they made the mistake, and I.
Well, managers actually had confidence in them.
Yeah, well, I have confidence in him right now. They made a mistake. I spoke to David Sullivan myself at the West Ham Advisory Board, and he's really passionate and said, look, we made a mistake. I have nightmares about it.
Yeah. Okay.
But we need to move on. You can't look back at the last season. You know, maybe we were skirting relegation for the last 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
So it's a good thing to be built.
All right. Well, Sean, thanks very much indeed. Also to Matt, thanks very much indeed, guys. Whatever happens, we wish you luck, of course, in the world of football. That's what we all want. See you again soon on the Skype wall.
Cheers, guys.
I don't know why anybody would want to move to that stadium, to be honest, Kit, because footballers themselves prosper on good atmosphere. Never mind the fans, don't they?
Well, they do, absolutely. I mean, I'd say being to West Ham and playing in that sort of atmosphere is a cauldron. It's intimidating for the away team, you know.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we've all been to stadiums. I'm old enough to have gone to stadiums, which used to be called the Olympic Stadium in Germany and around the world. I just hate those running tracks. Right, that's been the debate about the stadium. Lots more in the show tonight. Don't you worry, just got to go for a very quick break.